Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. This episode of Jake's Chop Shop, we're going to talk about how much this build's all costing, all that sort of stuff. We'll go into details. I'll run you guys through it and give you a realistic outlook on what it really costs to do a quick build like this. So let's get into it. All right, before we get started with the talk on the VL and costs and all that sort of stuff, I'm going to chuck in a clip because Luke has just done a rocker cover. Me and him worked together on a few ideas and he's had a vision for it. And I got to show you guys real quick. Check it out and then we'll get to the video. Luke have been working on the last couple of days. So obviously Big LT is building his own VL turbo. He's done a big high mount and all that sort of stuff. Aeroflow supplied him a heap of gear. So check out his Instagram, King PSI. Follow that one. But he had a rocker cover previously, rattle can white, and he brought me this one and said, let's spruce it up a bit. Let's give it a little bit of a lick with the gun. And that's what I've done. So white rocker cover, bit of pearl in it. That's cool. But Luke's just done some really cool things I thought we'd share with you guys. So first, is it Dizzy? I'll let you talk.
Yeah, so Dizzy Decals did the sticker for me. I wanted to replicate the sticker. Like, obviously, like, guys hand paint these and we tried and masking and we don't have steady hands. So Dizzy remade the sticker for us in like a custom purple that he had sitting there, which is pretty cool because I was a bit unsure of what color combo we wanted to go with. So we did purple PRP, like a dress-up kit for all the rocket, like all the bolts. We got a black set, we got a purple set because we were unsure of the color scheme, but purple was the way we went with, and we did the PRP billet oil cap. So we're obviously going to have the two nice little speed flows coming off here, anodized purple for the catch can. So we're going to keep the factory rocker cover and not go like those real nice billet ones because obviously they're pretty expensive, but I think this will do the job. And like the whole color scheme, the car's white that we're doing as well, and we've got like a black hot side, black cold side, so I think this all kind of match really, really well. And we've got the PRP anodized purple cam gear. So the cam gear is kind of like the highlight of like what we're looking at.
Pretty much, Luke blew himself, got a cam gear, it's purple, we all fucking lost it, and now PRP hooked him up with some goodies, but it looks killer. So I just thought we'd share that with you. Some of you guys might go look at this and go, fuck, that's killer, I might try something. Or if you want these custom printed letters for your rocker cover, hit up Dizzy Decals, is it?
Dizzy Decals here in Glendon, Adelaide.
So yeah, he'll send you Australia wide, so get the stickers off of him. And so obviously I've been busy this week. There's been a few things going on. More importantly than the VL, I've been working on Luke's HG Kingswood. That's just in the booth at the moment, just sitting in there. So working on that this week. Basically, Luke is coming down tonight to drop some bits and pieces off because we're getting ready to put the engine in it soon. So that should be super exciting, and we'll film some of that so you guys can see the stinker engine in that car. So that's going to be killer. So there's a lot of preparations for that. But also this week, I thought I would get a head start on the VL Commodore because obviously next week, I'm going to spend a massive week on this car and I want to get it all painted and put back together. So that's going to require an absolute shitload of work. So the engine bays are usually one of the most dicky things to do. There's a lot of time, not only in the prep and masking and all that sort of stuff, but putting it back together nicely and detailing all the parts, it's a lot harder than any other area of the car. So, boom, got through that today, this week. It's pretty much back together, bar a few cooler pipes and an exhaust system. But that's not what we're talking about today. I just thought I'd give you a little update, show you what it's looking like. So super wrapped with how that's come out. Engine didn't come out the car, but still managed to get paint all down the side of the engine, down the back of the firewall, everywhere. So that's looking a million times better. Yeah, so super wrapped with that one. But let's have a quick rundown of what it's all cost and a few other things. Oh. All right, so I've made some notes on the paper because there's a lot to remember. The cost of the car, and I'm also going to go into the hours because that plays a big part in it, more than a lot of people think. So obviously what I've got here is the initial price of the car, $13,000. I've written this in a bit of a weird order, but I'm sure you can follow. So $13,000 for the car. The rims and tyres. Now obviously I had the rims, but everything I had in the shop, you still have to account because it has a number on it, because yeah, you can't just be throwing parts of the car and be like, oh, that was for free because I already had it. Doesn't count like that. So rims and tyres, $350. The way I figured that is the 15x7s, $300, and then $50 to fit some tyres that I already had. The paint for the car. So I've already purchased all the paint, hardener, reducer, base, primer. So I've got $400 for paint. It's about $100 a litre from the body shop. So obviously go check those boys out. $400 for the 4 litres of yellow, $200 for 2 litres of ground, $140 for a hardener kit, $100 for some reducer, $140 for a primer kit. That equates to $980. Then you got the rare spares list. So rare spares, some new tail lights for the car, executive tail lights, headlights, and a badge kit. So the SL executive, yeah, SL is an executive different, I think. Yeah, so SL, turbo, all the badges, all that sort of stuff. So that's come to $550. So the car and the cosmetic stuff alone is $14,880. Then we're going into the turbo kit. So I already had the turbo, but I valued the turbo at $800. It's a high flow, genuine turbo. $100 for the intercooler. What do we got here? The boost line, gauge, and the boost tee, $140. The piping, so when I say piping, all the bends, 2.5-inch stainless, and paying the boys at Joust Tech to put a little bead on it. Blake, thank you for that. So the bead was only like $50, and the piping was $350 for all the bends. The steam pipe for the manifold was $100 or $105 or something like that. We'll call it $100. The flanges, so the head flange for the manifold and the T3 turbo flange, $120. The fittings and silicons that I've used, all the little bits and pieces, that come to $270, and hose clamps and a few other bits and pieces. The turbo line kit, the Aeroflow one, $200. The fuel pressure reg, the Aeroflow one, $150, and then the gauge, I think it was another $30, so that's $180. Also, the gas for the TIG, you can never forget your consumables. Keep them in mind because they add up. Because I almost went through a full bottle of argon, so $200 for that. That's what I'd value, because I think the bottle was like maybe $270 for the size, and I didn't quite use it all, so $200. So all the turbo stuff alone, $2,500 or $2,510. So that gives you an idea. But, so here's the big but. All right, now that seems pretty cheap, and it is pretty cheap. But we have to consider is the hours. Now, never forget the hours, because that's what will bite you in the ass. So with this turbo kit, last week when I did the car, I put all up, I think it was 72 hours into it. And that was just me working, none of the boys, so there's probably another couple hours in that. And obviously it was my first time making a turbo manifold, so you got to take that into consideration as well. So we'll knock a few hours off of it. So the way I figure, if I was to do all of it again, I'd do it in about 65 hours. That's what I've been thinking about this week, and I'm happy with the 65-hour mark. So I'll put that on the bill. So if you work that out, then that equates to, what does it equate to? Fuck, where's the, so 25, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so that equates to $9,000 in value right there. Because obviously charge the hours out, $100 an hour. That's what I charge. So yeah, $9,010 for the turbo kit alone. And the conversion, that's putting it on, making the piping, doing all bits and pieces. So like I said from the start, it probably works out a little bit more expensive doing it all yourself, building all your custom stuff, but that's just sort of what it is. So you can't just be like, yep, I'm gonna add $2.5 grand to the bill for the car and then try and sell it and be like, oh, I made money, like I got my money back. Well, no, you didn't, because that time goes unaccounted for and you still got the bills to pay and all that sort of stuff. So you got to take your time into consideration. And I feel like I work astronomically fast. So I do value my time. I think my time at 100 an hour, very good value. But if we add it all up, so the turbo kit and the price of the car, all the cosmetic parts, it comes to a total spend of $17,390. So $17,390 to do it. Now, obviously, there's probably, you could pretty much safe bet add 1,000 to that, or 2,000, because everything blows out. Never think it's going to stick to a budget. There might be little fittings here or there, or at the end of the build, if someone helped, if someone did this or that, you know, you give them a little bit of money as well. So that's the total spend. Now, I haven't painted the car yet, but I can already tell you straight away, just from experience, I'm gonna pump at least 100 hours into it. 100 hours to do the color change. Now, that's probably including doing the engine bay, or maybe even a bit more. I might even go a bit over 100. So that's a bit more value. That's another $10,000 worth of labor. So we will probably, from what I've calculated here, the total actual cost of this car for me to do it and be paid for my time be $33,890, or you could round that up to 34,000 quite easily. So that gives you a realistic outlook on what it actually costs. Because obviously if you don't charge those hours, that's a big thing. That's a massive thing. So 33,890 is what I worked out. But obviously probably just chuck another couple thousand on it, because I'll spend another 100 here, 200 there, bits and pieces. You know, I can already see, I haven't listed, I need a new set of scuff panels for inside the doors. So whatever they are from Rare Spares. I need to throw some mouldings at the car. I might throw a front seat at it. So it starts adding up, and then before you know it, you blew another 1,000 on it. So, boom. The next thing I'll get into is when I say these crazy numbers, like I say, I'll pump, 72 hours into a car in a week, or, the paint job's gonna take me 100 hours, but I'm gonna get it done in a week. that might be a surprise to some people, but that's the real world. Obviously, I don't have no side hustle. I don't sell no fucking sell no drugs on the side or anything. It's just me and hard work, and that's what pays for everything. And when you go to shop and you gotta make ends meet, and you want to have fun, you want to have toys, you got to work. And I believe there's no substitute for hard work. That's what I live by. So honestly, to give you guys a look into the shop and how I operate, I seriously, every single week here at the shop, I'll pump 90 hours. Easy, 90 hours every single week. So I know like a normal week is like a 40-hour week for people. Forget that, that's left the door. And I think anybody that has a business can probably relate. I don't think anybody that has a shop will be working under 60 hours a week. So yeah, that's the truth. I'm not saying that I work 90 hours a week and every hour on the hour I'm blood, sweat and tears. Like sometimes I walk around the shop and literally just smoke ciggies and look at the cars because I'm just fucking losing it. But yeah, definitely spend quite a few hours here. Like if you break it down, I work at least 12 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, no days off. The only time I have off is a Sunday when I'm trying to put together a video, edit a video. But even then, it's to make a video. Well, this one won't take very long to put together. But when I'm trying to do like hour-long videos for you guys, because I know you love them, and you know personally I do that because I think I would enjoy watching an hour long. Like if I see that on YouTube and it's something that I want to see and it's like an hour long or a longer video, I personally want to watch that because I feel like I'm gonna get more out of that video than a 10-minute video, if that makes sense. Anyway, yeah. So even that, when I put together a video, it's probably taken me anywhere between 8 to 12 hours to edit that. Get it done by the time I make the thumbnail, do the description, tag the video, edit the video, get the sound right. I know I'm not perfect yet, but I'm working on it. So yeah, massive amount of effort. But that gives you a realistic look into what things cost. Also, yeah, so I think that's all we're going to go into today about the car. But what I'm going to do now is I will put some clips in because there's a few videos that have been half filmed and all right, so what I'm going to do now is, because you guys have waited so long, I feel like this week there hasn't been much to show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of a montage in now with a few clips and up-and-coming things that we're working on, because there's a few videos in the background that I've half made where I've got the footage for, and I'm just waiting for them to get to a stage where the job's finished or there's so much that's happened that I can give you guys a good video. So I'll put in some clips of some cool stuff up and coming. And also, I think moving forward, we're going to have a little segment on the show with, it's probably going to be called like Gary Tech or something like that, where I'm going to try and get Gary to come and explain something. Maybe every week or every couple of weeks, I'll get him to explain a concept or an idea or something that he knows that will definitely help you guys out. You know what I mean? Might open your eyes. You might be like, I like that. Or you might be like, nah, I don't believe in it. But trust me, I think he's doing it. He's like 37 years in the game. He knows what he's talking about. And everything he said to me is, I take it pretty much gospel because I can see. Sometimes I'm a bit confused with his idea, but then he shows it, explains it, tells me the difference, tells me the outcomes of the other options, and I go, fuck, he's onto something here, and I didn't even think of that. And it's even the small things, but those small things might save you an engine or save you a heartache, or doesn't matter what it is, definitely worth your time because he's honestly a living legend. We're lucky to have him. So that's a wrap. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the little clips. We'll see you next week with another hour-long video. So full paint job happening. I think it should be pretty good. Take it easy. Hope you had a good weekend.
What's this one spot? With a little